Good day, everyone! DepEd matatag, bansang makabata, batang makabansa. Hello, students! Welcome to Grade 10 Science Lesson, and I'm your teacher, Sir Darrell M. Villorente. In our past lessons, you have learned about protein synthesis, which is a process on how amino acids are assembled to form biomolecules called proteins. Protein synthesis is the process by which the cells create proteins using the genetic information encoded in DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It involves two main steps, transcription and translation. In transcription, DNA is transcribed into mRNA in the nucleus. This mRNA travels to the cytoplasms where it binds to ribosomes for translation. In translation, the ribosomes reads the mRNA sequence and uses it as a template to assemble amino acids into a protein. Protein synthesis is a critical process for the proper functioning of cells, as protein plays a wide range of roles in the body, such as enzymes, structural components, and signaling molecules. But the question is, what are proteins and their functions? Let's find out in today's lesson. Let's have Biomolecules, Proteins, Part 3 for Module 1 for 4th quarter. It is said that proteins are the primary building materials of the body, and the primary elements found in the proteins are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Unlike with the three other biomolecules, they only have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen for carbohydrates, same as the lipids, having the same kind of element, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. The nearest elements compared with the other biomolecules can also be found in nucleic acid, wherein their elements are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. These four major elements are found in the amino acids that make up the protein molecule. In addition to these four elements, some proteins also contain other elements such as sulfur, phosphorus, and iron, which are important for specific function of the protein. However, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen are the most abundant element in proteins. As defined, proteins are the primary building materials of the body, from the tip of your hair up to the nails of your feet. Your skin, your muscles, and even our internal and external organ are composed mostly of proteins. Proteins are biomolecules that are composed of amino acids. That's why its monomer is amino acids. It have various functions in the body, such as structural support, energy production, and transport of nutrients. They are essential for maintaining proper body function and should be consumed in adequate amount through the diet. Structurally speaking, proteins are strong yet flexible, and they have a complex 3D structure. Proteins are made up of hundreds or thousands of smaller units called amino acids, and they are attached to one another in a long chain. So meaning to say, as they are chained, those amino acids, they are named as peptides. A peptide is a chain of amino acids. There are 20 different types of amino acids that can be combined to make a protein. Remember, from our past lessons that amino acids are coded by combinations of a 3D and a building blocks different by the sequence of genes. So, three amino acids can create one amino acids. And there are 20 different types of amino acids that are commonly found in proteins. Each amino acid has a unique chemical structure and specific properties, which contribute to the function of the protein it is a part of. These amino acids can be categorized based on their properties, such as polar or nonpolar, acidic or basic, hydrophobic or hydrophilic. The sequence of amino acids in a protein determines its three-dimensional structure and ultimately its function in the body. Let us enumerate once again the 20 different types of amino acid. These can also be found on your genetic code chart from the discussion that we've made last quarter. We have number 1, alanine, 2, arginine, 3, asparagine, 4, aspartic acid, 5, cysteine, 6, glutamic acid, 7 rather, glutamine, 8, glycine, 9, histidine, 10, isoleucine, 11, leucine, 12, lysine, 13, methionine, 14, phenylalanine, 15, proline, 16, serine, 17, threonine, 18, tryptophan, 19, tyrosine, and the last is valine. What are the functions of proteins? After knowing its description and their structure and the elements, let's dig more about the functions it plays on our body. The common function of proteins are the following. So write it down on your notes. First, the structural components, which includes or which can be found on our skin, our hair, and even in our muscles. Followed by chemical messengers, which includes the hormones. From the previous discussion that we made, hormones are not only made of proteins, it is also made of lipids. Third, it is also used for the defense against different diseases, or what we call disease defense. And what are those? The different antibodies. And last, proteins functions also as an enzymes and transport storage, just like the catalase and the lactase. Later on, we're going to discuss further the functions of proteins one by one. First, let's discuss its structural components. The structural component provides structure and support for cells. So whatever the size, whatever the shape of the cell, the proteins give supports on it. And because of proteins, it makes our body to move easily and freely. Because these proteins gives more structure and support to the body, particularly on this what we call muscular system. And the best example of a protein that gives structure and support to the body is the collagen. The collagen is the most abundant protein in mammals and that gives the skin the strength and elasticity. So the skin is the largest external organ in the body. This collagen is a fibrous protein that is the main component of the connective tissue in the body. It provides structural support, strength, elasticity to many tissues such as our skin. Why our skin is smooth, elastic, as elegant as the others, no matter what color it is, there is what we call a collagen. This collagen can also be found in our bones, cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. Collagen per se is made up of three polypeptide chains that are tightly wound together in a triple helix structure. It contains a high amount of amino acids, just like glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, which contribute to its unique structure and function. And collagen is essential for maintaining healthy skin, bones, and joints, and can also be found in food sources such as bone, broth, and gelatin. May mga collagen pala doon. So, collagen nowadays can be taken orally or externally. It says that the collagen makes you more younger than before. That's why it can be applied to our skin, or some of the medicines or vitamins has a collagen, promising that it will give a more glamorous and glowing skin. Another example of proteins that give structural component to the body is the keratin. What is keratin? Keratin can be found on the scale of the fish on the left side. The keratin also makes up our hair shinier, our hair, followed by our nails, together with the horns of the different animals, the different feathers of the birds, together with the hooves of those footed animals, together with our skin on our foot, those cracked skin. Keratin can be found. Those calluses. Keratin is found in various structures in humans. And also, they can be found in some internal organs such as livers and glands. But not all organs has a keratin. What does it do? The keratin provides structural supports and protection to these tissues, and its toughness and durability make it ideal for use in the structure that are exposed to wear and tear. So mostly it can be found outside, just like the skin. Okay, our hair made up of keratin. That's why if you're going to browse the ingredients found in the shampoo, makakakita kayo doon ng keratin. Okay? In addition to its structural role, keratin can also act as a barrier. So panangga pala siya to prevent water loss and protect against harmful environment factors such as UV radiation. That's why some of you are advised to have your shampoo or even conditioner for you to have a glowing and shiny hair. Once it is exposed outside, uh, due to the UV radiation coming from the sun. Another one, aside from collagen, keratin, the third is the actin. What is actin? Actin is a protein that is important contributor to the contractile property of a muscle and other cells. So sa muscle siya, tignan natin. Actin is highly abundant protein in the human body, and it plays a crucial role in many cellular processes. Here are some of the functions of actins in the body. First one, actin can be found in the cytoskeleton, a network of protein fibers that provide support and shape to the cells. A cytoskeleton is a part of a cell. This cytoskeleton gives a proper shape to any different kinds of animal cells and even plant cells. The actin filaments are involved in processes such as cell division, or the dividing of the cells in the body, migration, and the intracellular transport, on how the different substances are transferred from one cell to another. This actin also plays an important role, second, aside from cytoskeleton, muscle contraction. Okay, pag nagko-contract ang ating muscles whenever we are exercising. Together with myosin, which is the actin, another type of proteins, they used to interact to generate the force needed for muscle contraction. So this would be a collaborative work between the actin and the myosin. The actin also used for cell signaling, and it also makes sure that the shape is maintained. Overall, actin is a very versatile protein that plays a key role in maintaining the structure, integrity of the cells, as well as in many physiological processes. Similar to actin, its counterpart is the myosin. The myosin is responsible for muscle contraction, just like what I've told you. Actin and myosin works together to make the contraction of muscles made possible. It is a modern molecule that works to move the cell. So it allows the cells to move. It is a motor protein. Motor protein meaning to say it is responsible for the different voluntary movements that we perform every day. Here are some of the examples of myosin's functions. Aside from muscle contraction, myosin plays an important role in cell division, specifically in the process of cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is the time where the cells divide, particularly the word cytoplasm. Myosin forms a contractile ring around the cell which contracts to split the cell into two. If you remember, during the process of cell division, one single cell will become two cells. So before they divide on the in the telophase period, the one that contracts responsible for splitting the two is the myosin. Myosin is also involved in the transport of vesicles and other cargo within the cells. It uses the energy in the form of ATP to move along the actin filaments carrying a cargo to its destinations. As well as this myosin, with actin, they also maintain the proper shape and the overall supports that happens inside the cell. They play an important role in muscle contraction, cell division, and other cellular processes. Its function is tightly regulated by a complex network of proteins and signaling molecules to ensure proper physiological functions. Aside from structural component, let's proceed with number 2. Proteins also act as a chemical messenger. When we talk about chemical messenger, it is any compound that serves to transmit a message. Okay, it transmits a message. We all know that when we heard the word chemical messenger, we are referring here with this what we call endocrine system. Because another message are also relayed or also traveled in the body. Those impulses, those electrical signals. Ang tawag naman doon ay ang system of the body naman doon ay nervous system. But when we heard the word chemical messengers, we are more on the hormones. The substance that is present in the body that mixes with the blood directly. And these hormones are not only proteins, they are also called as lipids. And these different hormones, just like the following, we have the testosterone for the male or for the boys, estrogen for the girls, and even the growth hormone secreted by the main organ of the endocrine system, which is the pituitary gland. The other hormones are also associated with that. We already discussed that from the last quarter, which is third quarter, the endocrine system. I'll just give you an example. The gonads, the sex gonads or the gonads that has a proteins. Okay? Another one, aside from the hormones, we also have the neuropeptides. Okay, the neuropeptide that act as a hormones or neurotransmitter. Neuro means nerves, okay? They send quickly the signals to the different parts of the body. Since our body are working hand in hand with the other system of the body, there are other substances that plays or act as a hormones. That is the neuropeptide to make the communication faster and smoother. These peptides act as a chemical messenger in the nervous system. They are produced and released by the neurons and can bind to receptors on other neurons on target cells in other tissues throughout the body. Unlike with the nervous system, they are totally connected, just like a tightrope. Okay? But in the endocrine system, they do not have a direct path from one organ. That's why the organs in the endocrine system are totally far away from one another. That's why they are called as ductless gland. Neuropeptides have a wide range of functions in the body. Oh, para saan to? Number one, regulating the pains. Okay? Neuropeptides such as substance of phosphorus and enkephalins are involved in regulating the pain perception and can have analgesic effects. Another one, regulating the moods and the behavior of a person. So, yung iba't ibang emotion is also associated with our neuropeptides. Together with the oxytocin. Oxytocin, for example, is involved in social bonding and sometimes referred as the cuddle hormones or the love hormones. Regulating appetite. So, connected with our digestive system. Neuropeptides such as ghrelin and leptin are involved in regulating the appetite and energy balance. These neuropeptides are tightly regulated to ensure a proper physiological function and these regulations of our neuropeptide signaling and has been implicated in a variety of diseases and disorders. And the last, chemical messenger. Aside from hormones, neuropeptides, the other one or the last would be this what we call pheromone. But what is pheromone? As you can see on the illustration, we have bees, we have the flowers. Because a pheromone is a chemical factor that triggers a social response in members of the same species. Social response. So, for example, there are different kinds of social animals aside from the bees. We also have the butterfly, we also have the dragonfly, we also have the ants. They have this what we call pheromones, chemical signals that are produced by an organisms and capable of influencing the behavior and even the physiology of the others of the same species. What is the main functions of the pheromones? Una, to attract mates. Okay, one way of getting your loved ones in concept of insects. It is also associated with humans. Okay, how you attract somebody because you have a high pheromones. Paano sila nai-inlove sa'yo? Many species such as insects and mammals use the pheromones to signal their reproductive readiness and to attract potential mates. So, ibig sabihin, kung madali kang makapag-attract, malakas yung iyong sinisecrete na pheromones. And as the insects and other animals secretes a pheromones, it also serves as a marking territory aside from mates. So, pag na-release yung pheromones, ito na yung lugar o ito na yung teritoryo ko. Okay? It has already been claimed by that particular animals. And it also serves as number 3. Aside from attracting mates, territory, they also used to signaling danger. May paparating na mga panganib. Some species, such as ants and the bees, use the pheromones to communicate dangers. They do not need to talk with one another just like humans. Uy, may paparating na panganib. So they just release a pheromones to create an announcement na merong danger na paparating. Okay, when an individual detects a threat, it releases a warning pheromone that alert the others to the presence of danger. And the last would be the regulating behavior. Okay, associated with our emotions, can also used to regulate the behavior of others in the same species. For example, the queen bee release pheromones that prevent other female bees from reproducing. So pag nag-release ng isang bee, so siya muna, hindi pwedeng mag-release yung iba. Wala tayong sapawan na nangyayari. So on this case, it helps to maintain the social hierarchy of the colony. And also, it is used to identify your kin, okay? Or yung iyong kalahi, or within the family. Some species, such as the rodents, use the pheromones to identify the kins. This helps to promote cooperation and altruistic behavior among related individuals. Overall, pheromones are important signaling molecules that play a variety of roles in communications and social behavior in many species. The specific function of pheromones depends on the species that produces it and the context in which it is used. So, if you want to attract someone, you need to release a pheromones. The third one, aside providing structure, okay, relaying messages, the third function, important function of the protein is for the defense against different viruses and bacteria. It is known as disease defense. These proteins responsible for protecting ourselves against different diseases is this what we call antibodies. Okay, these antibodies. These antibodies are released by the body to protect ourselves from the different diseases or sickness caused by the bacteria and viruses. For example, our body releases an enzymes. And enzymes are typically proteins, and these are biological molecules that significantly speed up the rate of virtually all the chemical reaction that takes place within the cells. An example of an enzymes are the amylase. Okay, amylase. The amylase is the enzyme present in the saliva of humans and some other mammals. So, bakit meron tayong parang sticky substance sa ating bibig na para tayong naglalaway? Iyan ay may amylase. And this amylase speeds up the chemical reactions that happens to the foods that we put in our mouth. So, para mas mabilis matunaw because enzymes contains and different acids that speeds up the process of chemical reactions. Remember, it says that it can speed up. It can speed up the rate. Pinabibilis ang process ng chemical reaction. This amylase, which is present in the humans and the other mammals, catalyzes the starch. So, for example, you eat foods that has starch, gulay, and even sugars. It speeds up the breakdown of starch into simple form. Okay, kasi ang starch ay malaki. So kailangan siya ay ma-divide into smaller form para siya mapakinabangan ng katawan. So amylase is an enzyme that breaks down the complex carbohydrates into simple sugars such as glucose and maltose. So yung kaya lang kunin ng cells natin ay glucose and maltose para mapabilis ang breakdown. Okay, ang pababilis ang breakdown nitong mga nutrients from the foods that we eat, meron tayong tinatawag na enzymes. An example nga niyan ay ang ating amylase. Okay, aside from saliva, meron din tayo sa pancreas, meron din sa small intestine that is used in the important process which is digestion for the carbohydrates. Deficiency in amylase can result in digestive problems and other health issues. So, pag nagkulang ka sa amylase, syempre, mahihirapan mag-digest ng maayos ang ating katawan. Because amylase can be used in industrial application in the production of beer. Ginagamit pala yan sa paggawa ng beer together with the bread. How about the lipases? Okay, lipases. Aside from the amylase, it performs essential roles in digestion, transports and process of dietary lipids. It catalyzes the hydrolysis of fats. So, lipase pala, pinabibilis naman yung breakdown for the lipids. Kung ang amylase ay sa carbohydrates, ang lipase naman ay isang enzymes for the lipids. Diba? Yan naka-counterpart naman niya. Napakalaki kasi at napaka-long chain ng mga fatty acids. Paano siya ma-hydrolyze or makakatalyze into simplest form? Kailangan siyang ma-breakdown. Okay, so through the use of lipase. These lipase are secreted by the pancreas, stomach, small intestine, which are very important in digestion, absorption, and transportation of fats in the body. Okay, we have different types of lipases according to its origin. We have pancreatic lipase from the pancreas, lingual lipase, gastric lipase for the stomach, each with different functions, locations, and substrate. What if nakulangan ng lipase? It can lead to various health problems such as, pag wala palang lipase sa katawan na nare-release. Okay, anong maaaring magkaroon ng problema? Una, pwedeng tumaas ang ating cholesterol or high cholesterol. Meron din na tinatawag na atherosclerosis and pancreatic disorders. Remember, if you have the lipase, it is very important in maintaining the different various body system, which includes the circulatory system, the digestive system, which also involves the different metabolic processes. Last but not the least, the storage or transport storage. There are proteins that bind and carry the atoms and small molecules within the cells throughout the body. Okay, tagapagdala pala. In the human body, proteins serve as both transporter and storage. Pwede siyang imbakan, pwede rin siyang transporter, just like the jeepney. It transport proteins such as hemoglobin, transport molecules like oxygen in the bloodstream. Okay? Para sa ating mga dugo, tinatransport pala yung proteins. Okay? At sa oxygen naman, papunta sa ating blood. Kaya yung grade 9 kayo, di ba? If the blood contains or rich in oxygen, it is known as oxygenated blood. Ano nagtatransport nun? Siyempre, ang ating mga proteins. Paano naman siya nag-a-act as storage? They act as a storage in a form of storing the amino acids in muscle tissue. Okay? And nutrients in the form of proteins like the casein in milk. So, ini-store pala yan. Ang ating proteins in the form of amino acids. And also play a vital role in our immune system. Overall, proteins are essential for the proper functioning of the human body through their roles in transport and storage. Like phospholipids, these proteins help in facilitating the movement in and out of the materials in cells. Kaya nga transport. So, ina-allow niya yung pagpasok at paglabas ng iba't ibang substance na makakatulong sa cells. And that would be the time na magiging healthy ang cells through the help of the proteins. Why does it need a transport? Because it is very hard for those nutrients to go along by themselves. That's why they need something that helps them to go directly to its specific target kung saan ito ay yung mga cells ng katawan natin. Okay? So, we can enjoy those benefits if it is efficient. Okay? If it is very efficient. Effective nga yung substance pero ang tagal naman palang dalhin. So, proteins serve as the transporter and even the storer of those substances. Every cell in the human body contains proteins. Okay? Sa bawat himaymay ng ating kalamnan at katawan, may mga proteins. And those proteins also helps to repair cells. Repair, kasi nga may nasira. And to make a new one. At kapag may nasira, magkakaroon tayo ng panibago. And these proteins, which is said to be having two sources o pinanggagalingan. So, it could be a plant-based from the word plant, halaman, and an animal-based, which is from the animals. Okay? So, some of the leaves are the following. We have chickpeas, oats, tofu, brown rice, quinoa, lentils, cashews, peanut butter, almonds, avocado, broccoli, edamame, together with the other substances. Okay, the nuts includes peanut butter or almond butters, the nuts and seeds such as almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds. Meron din ang peas, meron din ang potatoes, quinoa, seaweed, soy milk. Okay, and even the spirulina. Always remember that protein is also important for the growth and development in children, teens, and pregnant women. Now, let's proceed on the other side, on the left side, sa animal base. Saan ba galing yung mga yan? Okay, we have here eggs, turkey mince, chicken breasts, pork chop, rib eyes, duck, so on and so forth. And we also have, can be found on the lump, the dairy products produced by the different domestic animals such as milk, the cheese, and even yogurts. Okay, even the different seafoods, just like the shellfish, shrimp, crab, and lobster. These are some of the common sources of animal-based proteins. Remember that proteins provides an essential amino acids and nutrients for those who include animal products in their diet. So that concludes the biomolecules, proteins. So on this lesson, we all know how important the protein is, the things that they do to the body, the different types, the different sources. We should remember all those things should be consumed in a moderate form, because too much would be would also bring bad effects to us. So giving those different biomolecules from the carbohydrates, lipids to proteins, and even nucleic acids, we should remember that those are the biomolecules that maintains the different processes that make us alive as humans. It is not only needed by the humans as well as other animals and even plants and other organisms. I hope you learned and enjoyed our lessons. Kindly remember, copy all the questions with multiple choices from the quiz that I will send to you via messenger. You're going to write your answer to those questions in your notebook. You have the option to write them by hand or print them out using the pattern that I will give to you. I hope you learned something from our module number 1 from carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and even nucleic acid. God bless and happy learning. This is Sir Daryl M. Villorente. See you in the next lesson.